The most dangerous person in any room is the one who disappeared for a while and came back different. Not louder, not flashier, just unshakable. You've seen it happen. Somebody you know goes quiet, stops posting, stops showing up to everything, stops replying in the group chat. And for a few weeks, people notice. Yo, where'd he go? Is he good? Did something happen? Then he's back. And something's off. Not in a bad way. In a way you can't quite put your finger on. The way he holds himself. The way he talks. Fewer words, but every one of them lands. His body looks different. His face looks different. Not like he got a haircut. Like he made a decision somewhere along the way and never looked back. That wasn't an accident. That's what happens when somebody stops living for an audience and starts building something real with the doors closed. Now look, I know where you are right now. I know because I've been there. You're watching this, probably on your phone, probably in bed or on the couch, and there's this thing sitting in your chest. This low-key feeling that you're wasting it, that you're capable of way more than what you've been putting out. You keep saying, "I'll start soon." You've been saying that for a while now. And that feeling? That uncomfortable knot? That's not you being dramatic. That's the last honest part of you trying to get your attention. So here's what's about to happen. I'm going to walk you through something called the winter arc. 3 phases. 30 days. And no, this isn't some guru nonsense where I tell you to visualize your best self and journal about gratitude. This is a full-blown reset. Think about winter in nature. On the surface, everything looks dead. Trees are bare. Nothing's growing. But underground, roots are going deeper. Energy's being stored. The whole system is getting ready to explode when spring hits. That's you for the next 30 days. Not a break. Not a self-care month where you take baths and call it growth. This is tearing down everything that isn't working and rebuilding from scratch. 2 roads in front of you right now. Keep scrolling, keep doing what you've been doing. Wake up a month from now feeling the exact same way. Or do the thing that almost nobody has the guts to actually follow through on. Go dark, get to work, and come back as somebody that even your own friends don't fully recognize. I'm going to give you the whole playbook. No filler, no fluff. Just what actually works when you stop making excuses. Let's go. All right, before we get into the plan, we gotta talk about why you're stuck in the first place. Because if you don't understand the trap, the plan won't matter. Here's something that took me way too long to figure out. You're not lazy. You're fried. There was a study out of UC San Diego, back in 2009, before TikTok, before Reels, before any of that. And they found the average American was already consuming about 34 gigabytes of information per day. That was 15 years ago. Today, nobody even wants to measure it anymore. Your brain is taking in more noise before breakfast than your grandparents dealt with in a full week. And here's what that does to you. Your dopamine system. The thing in your brain that makes you feel motivated, that makes hard work feel rewarding. It gets completely wrecked. When you're getting micro hits of dopamine every 15 seconds from scrolling, from notifications, from likes, your brain recalibrates. It raises the bar. Now, anything that requires sustained effort, training, studying, building a business, feels unbearable. Not because the task is hard, because your brain's been trained to expect a reward every few seconds, and real work doesn't operate like that. So you end up in this loop. You know what you should be doing. You can probably list it right now. Eat better, train, read. Work on that thing you keep putting off. Sleep properly. The information's not the problem. You've watched enough videos. You've saved enough posts. You have a folder of screenshots on your phone right now with advice you've never followed. Don't lie. The problem isn't knowledge. It's bandwidth. Your brain is so overloaded with input that it can't execute on anything. It's like trying to run heavy software on a computer with 47 tabs open. It's not that the computer is broken, It's that everything's fighting for resources and nothing gets done properly. And this is where most self-improvement advice fails you. Somebody tells you, just wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym. Cool. But they don't tell you what to do about the fact that you were scrolling until 1 a.m. and your brain couldn't shut off, so you slept 4 hours, and now that alarm feels like a personal attack. You can't install new software on a system that's overloaded. You gotta close the tabs first. That's why the winter arc doesn't start with, "Here's your new morning routine." It starts with burning down the stuff that's been keeping you stuck. Subtraction before addition. Demolition before construction. And honestly, that first phase is where most people tap out, because removing distractions is way harder than adding habits. Habits feel productive. Removing things just feels empty, and your brain hates empty. Which brings us to phase 1. The first 10 days, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This part sucks, but it's supposed to. Days 1 through 10. One rule: subtract, don't add. You're not building new habits yet. You're cutting out everything that's been draining you so quietly you didn't even notice it was happening. First move: delete your social media apps. And I mean delete, not log out. Not move it to the second page of your phone so it's harder to find. Delete, off the device, gone. And look, if that sentence just made your chest tighten up a little bit, if you're already thinking, well, I need Instagram for work, or I'll just limit my time, that reaction is the whole point. Anything that has that much of a grip on you is exactly what needs to go. 10 days. You're not going to miss a single thing that actually matters. I promise you that. Second, kill passive consumption. And be honest with yourself about what counts. Random YouTube rabbit holes at midnight. Netflix as background noise while you pretend to do something productive. Podcasts you don't even really listen to. They're just there so you don't have to sit alone with your own thoughts. Here's the filter. If you're not going to use what you're consuming today, actually apply it. It's not learning. It's just a more sophisticated way of scrolling. Third, pull back socially. Not forever. 10 days. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about being real with yourself about how much energy you're bleeding through conversations that go nowhere. The group chat that's just memes and complaints. The hangout you go to out of obligation. The friend who only hits you up when they need something. You don't have to be rude about it. Just go quiet. I'm going to be off my phone for a bit. That's all you gotta say. Fourth, fix your environment. This one sounds boring, I know, but hear me out. Clean your room. Not in a Jordan Peterson meme way. In a my physical space affects my mental space way. Desk clear. Clothes put away. Phone on airplane mode after 9 p.m. No screens in bed. Your willpower is not as strong as you think it is. Nobody's is. So stop relying on it and set up your space so the right behavior is the easy behavior. Now here's what the first few days are going to feel like. Terrible. I'm not going to hype this up. Days 1 through 3, maybe 4. You're going to feel anxious for no reason. Bored out of your mind. You'll pick up your phone by reflex like 40 times a day, and there's nothing there. Your brain is going to be screaming for a hit. Good. That's withdrawal. And withdrawal means the thing was controlling you more than you realized. By day 7, maybe 8, something starts to shift. The mental fog lifts a little. Your thoughts slow down enough that you can actually hear them. Ideas pop up that you forgot you had. You start to feel like yourself again. Not the overstimulated, reactive version. The real one, underneath all the noise. That's your foundation. That's where we start building. Real quick, if this is hitting you right now, if something about this feels like it was meant for you today, drop a like. Not for me. Just as a little commitment to yourself before we keep going. So the noise is gone. And now you're sitting in silence, and you realize something kind of scary. You've got zero excuses left. That's exactly where Phase 2 picks up. Phase 1 was about clearing the ground. Phase 2 is where you start putting something on it. Brick by brick, rep by rep, page by page. But first, let me kill a myth that probably got you stuck in the past. You don't need motivation to start. Motivation is what happens after you start. I know that sounds backward, but think about it. You've never once felt like going to the gym and then been disappointed you went. The feeling comes from the action, not the other way around. So stop waiting to feel ready. You won't. Go anyway. These 10 days run on 4 pillars. You do all 4. Every day. No negotiations, no, I'll make up for it tomorrow. That's the deal. Body, you train. 45 minutes to an hour. Every single day. And let me be clear about why. It's not really about the muscle. I mean, yeah, you'll look better. But the real point of training during the winter arc is this. You need to prove to yourself before the day is over that you can do something hard when you didn't feel like doing it. That's the rep that matters most. The one you didn't want to do. Because every time you show up when it sucks, you're building trust with yourself. And right now, that trust is probably at an all-time low. Mind, you read. 30 minutes a day. And no, Twitter threads and Reddit posts don't count. Books. Actual books. Pick 2 for these 10 days. Something that makes you think differently, not just gives you new facts to repeat at parties. Reading is the only form of content consumption where your brain has to do the work. Everything else, videos, podcasts, scrolling, is your brain receiving. Reading is your brain reaching. Big difference. Skill. 1 to 2 hours of deep work on the thing that's going to change your trajectory. Your business. A skill you're developing. A project that's been sitting at 30% for months. Here's the rule. Phone goes in another room. Not on silent, in another room. One task. No multitasking. No quick email checks. This is the block of time that builds your future. And you treat it like it's sacred because it kinda is. Rest. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I know some of you just rolled your eyes. Sleep is for the weak. Whatever. No. Sleep is when your brain consolidates everything you built during the day. Cutting sleep isn't toughness. It's just self-sabotage wearing a costume. Now, around day 14, 15, your brain's gonna pull something sneaky on you. It'll start being reasonable. Hey, you've been doing great. One night off won't hurt. You earned a cheat day. Maybe just download Instagram for a sec to check something. That's the test. And the guys who pass that test are the ones who come out the other side different. The ones who don't, they restart the same cycle in January. But here's what nobody tells you about discipline. It's not the finish line. Something happens in the last 10 days that goes beyond habits, beyond routine. And honestly, it caught me off guard when I first experienced it. Days 21 through 30. And this is where things get weird. In the best way possible. You're gonna wake up one morning somewhere in this stretch, and the alarm goes off and you just get up. No fight. No internal debate. No snooze button. Your feet hit the floor and you're moving before your brain even has a chance to complain. And you'll think, when did this become easy? That's the shift. The workout isn't something you have to do anymore. It's just part of your day. Same as brushing your teeth. The reading isn't forced. The focused work doesn't feel like you're dragging yourself through mud. It just flows. And that's not because you suddenly became some superhuman. It's because repetition rewired your brain. 21 to 30 days of doing the same thing over and over creates new neural pathways. The science is pretty straightforward on this. It's called neuroplasticity, and it's been documented in dozens of studies. Your brain physically changed. The things that used to require massive willpower now run on autopilot. But here's what matters more than the habits. And this is the part most people miss. You're not someone who's trying to be disciplined anymore. You just are. The action and the identity merged. You don't have to convince yourself to train. That's what you do. You don't have to force yourself to read. That's who you are. And operating from identity instead of willpower is a completely different experience. Willpower runs out. Identity doesn't. There's gonna be a specific moment in this last phase. And I can't tell you when, because it's different for everybody. But you'll know it when it hits. Maybe you catch yourself in the mirror after a shower, and for the first time in a while you actually like what you see. Not in a vain way. In a, damn, I actually did that way. Maybe you realize it's been 2 weeks since you thought about Instagram, and you genuinely don't care. Maybe you finish that project that's been sitting at 40% since last year. Or maybe it's smaller. Maybe you're just sitting in silence one morning, drinking your coffee, and you feel clear. No anxiety humming in the background. No guilt. Just clarity about who you are and where you're going. That's the moment everyone chases but almost nobody gets. Because almost nobody stays in the dark long enough to find it. And when you come back, when you start showing up again, engaging again, people are gonna notice. You won't have to announce anything. You won't have to post a transformation picture or give a speech about your journey. They'll just feel it. The way you walk into a room. The way you hold eye contact without flinching. The way you say less but mean every word. That stuff can't be faked. People pick up on it instantly. But here's what really changes. And this is what surprised me the most. It's not how others see you. It's what you stop tolerating. The late nights scrolling through nothing? Can't do it anymore. It feels wrong. The junk food? Your body rejects it, not because of some diet, but because you built something you don't want to trash. The people who only bring drama? You just stop answering. Not out of anger, out of clarity. You raised your standard. And once that standard goes up, it doesn't come back down. The winter arc isn't a 30-day challenge you put in your bio. It's the decision to stop negotiating with the version of yourself that keeps you small. And the payoff isn't a badge or a streak counter. It's looking in the mirror, and for the first time thinking, yeah, I respect that guy. Everyone wants that. But almost nobody is willing to sit in the silence long enough to earn it. That's the price. And if you've made it this far in this video, I think you already know it's worth paying. You've got the blueprint. All 3 phases. Phase 1. Kill the noise. Days 1 through 10. Rip out everything that's been keeping you overstimulated and stuck. Get quiet enough to think straight. Phase 2. Build the machine. Days 11 through 20. 4 pillars every day, no days off. Body, mind, skill, rest. You build the routine until the routine starts building you. Phase 3. Become the new version. Days 21 through 30. Stop trying and realize you already changed. The habits become automatic. The identity catches up to the actions. You walk different because you are different. That's the whole thing. No hidden steps. No expensive course behind a paywall. No supplement stack. Just you, alone with yourself, doing the work nobody sees. Now here's what I need from you. And I mean tonight. Not tomorrow morning. Not when things calm down. Tonight. Before you go to sleep, open your phone and delete the apps. All of them. Set your alarm for whatever time you decided your day starts now. Lay out your gym clothes. Put a water bottle on your nightstand. Plug your phone in across the room. Not next to your bed. That's it. That's day 1. That's all it takes to set the whole thing in motion. Because here's the reality. 30 days from now, one of 2 things is going to be true. Either you're in the exact same spot, same body, same habits, same frustration that keeps you up at night, wondering why nothing ever changes. Or you're somebody that even you barely recognize. Somebody who walked into the dark when it was uncomfortable, stayed when it was boring, and came out the other side sharper, clearer, and done making excuses. The clock doesn't start when conditions are perfect. It starts when you decide it does. If this video hit you somewhere real, if you're feeling that fire even a little bit, subscribe to this channel. Not as a favor to me, as a commitment to the person you're about to become. And do me one thing. Go to the comments right now and type, Day 1. That's your line. Once you write it down, it's real. And I'll see you on the other side of it. Disappear in silence. Return in a way they can't ignore.